eating my lunch and I looked up and this owl literally had eye contact with me. Although I don't think they can see today. It felt like they had eye contact with me. I was just sat, and we've been talking about owls the day before, randomly, and I believe that they're a sign of protection and wisdom and listening to your intuition. They're normally nocturnal, so I was thinking, is this actually an owl? Am I going crazy? Am I hallucinating? But no, it was an owl. And then I spoke to a guy that worked in the garden because I said, oh, I'm a bit worried about the chickens with this owl here. And he said, oh, no, that owl won't eat chickens. It was massive, this owl. He said, those owls eat cats. Apparently they pick the cats up with their claws and fly off with them. So, yeah, anyway, the cats are both fine. But it was just incredible, such a spectacular thing to see. And I'm forever, my eyes when I'm talking on here are looking at all the little crabs on the beach. And all the amazing nature. I mean, even this tree. You start to look at the detail of things. There's just so much beauty in everything. And so often we don't see the detail. We're so busy looking past the thing that's right in front of us that we don't actually see how beautiful the thing is that's there. I don't know if other people relate to this, but when I need to sit in stillness and to be quiet, that's one of the hardest times for me to do that. And my yoga practice every morning helps me to see where I'm at. And I made that commitment to myself that I would do some form of a practice every day. And for me, it doesn't have to be an hour of yoga. It doesn't have to be anything. I think even if you can just carve out a couple of minutes to focus on your breath and maybe shake or just move your body, dance, whatever feels good, just get the energy flowing in your body. And then I question whether or not what I do is yoga, whether there'll be people out there that go, that's not yoga, this is yoga. And I really, to them it's really important that yoga is a specific set of movements and it's done in a certain way, and that maybe I'm not being respectful of yoga if I don't do it that way. But for me, and I've now combined different movement techniques that work for me, and so maybe I shouldn't call it yoga anymore. I don't know. But quite often I do shaking, I do some qigong, I do some breath movements and lymphatic drainage stuff, jumping, shaking, screaming, so many different things. Rather than just yoga, it's I need to come up with a different name for it so that I don't offend people, because that's never my intention to be disrespectful, to offend people. I'm just finding my way. And I realised this morning when I was out with the doggies, I walk the dogs because I love it, and I love it because they're so happy, and I can see they want to go out, and then when they're out they're just so free and they're running and they're playing, and I mean they're not exactly cooped up when they're not out, but they just love being on the beach. and I realise that we often as humans do that for other people, these kind of acts of service to either animals or people. Make sure that the dog gets their food at a specific time, we make sure that they get their walks, we make sure that the cat's litter tray is clean, like all these sorts of little things. Or if you have children, that they have nutritious food and that they eat at a certain time, they're in bed at a certain time. But then we don't do those same things for ourselves. And I'm projecting, maybe there are some people that do, but that's one of the reasons that I do this yoga practice every morning, because I don't have someone to take me out on a leash dragging me to my yoga mat. I have to get myself there, and then I know that I feel better when I practice yoga. I not always feel better. Sometimes I'm aware of how I feel. I'm more aware, and I find it hard to sit in stillness when I really need to. I think when I feel totally calm and relaxed and everything's perfect in life, then it's really easy to sit in stillness and to just be. But when I'm trying to process stuff, which a lot of the time is emotional stuff, family stuff, all sorts of things, when I'm trying to process things, that's when I find it really hard to just sit in stillness. And I know that, I'm aware of that now. And before I came out, I just wanted to lie on my bed and do Duolingo and maybe listen to a podcast or something, and just with my fan. And then I thought, no, I have to go out. I have to get out into nature. I have to work through these feelings that I'm having. And I don't talk about my really personal stuff because, to be honest, I still have this feeling of protecting. I don't know if that was rain or wee. My friend got weed on by a monkey the other day, and then one of the guys here, another friend, got pooed on by a monkey. So when something drops on your head. I mean, the other day I had something in my hair and I was like, what is it? And I pulled it out and it was a gecko. So yeah. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, sit in these moments of stillness. It's sometimes when we need it the most, it's the hardest to do. And then I think about that a lot with plant medicine. I sat a lot with ayahuasca, and ayahuasca was an incredible experience for me. And I think at some point I will sit again, because there's still stuff that I'm working through. But for me, the medicine shows you this, yes, this incredible connection to source, to the divine, whatever you want to call it. It's just not every time I sat, but a couple of times I had really profound experiences, and it's just amazing, this feeling like you have no pain in your body. It's almost like your body just becomes music, your body becomes, everything is sound and vibration, and I just felt like that's what I was the music, and it was just amazing. But the real work is after that. And for me, the medicine, and ayahuasca in particular, mushrooms for me worked in a different way. They rewired my brain to help me get past anxiety and other things. But ayahuasca just showed me a mirror, and she was like, this is your life. This is the shit you need to sort out. You need to look inside yourself. You get to a certain time in your life where you have to take responsibility for how you live. No one else can be responsible for that. And she made me look at myself many times, and you can be a victim to your life, and you can feel sorry for yourself as long as you like, but then you're not in control of your life. You're giving your power away to the people that have wronged you, or that you feel have wronged you, or that have. And I'm not saying that what people have been through is easy to process and easy to move past, but as long as you're holding on to that feeling that I'm a victim and these things were done to me, you're not free. You're not free. And you have to get to the point where you realise that, okay, this stuff happened in my life, but I want to take back control, and I want to enjoy the time that I have here on this planet without reliving that whole thing over and over and over and over again. And so for me, finding forgiveness and moving into a place of love has been so healing for some relationships in particular. And someone said to me a while ago, like, you just need to go with love and to try and heal this one relationship, and I couldn't because my fear was of being rejected. So my ego couldn't take being rejected, so therefore I couldn't go to this person with love. Anyway, I won't go into it all now, but yeah, and there are still relationships in my life that I'm finding really, really difficult to navigate. People have behaved in ways that have really surprised me, and yeah. But I don't feel that getting even, I've fucked up in the past, and I've made some huge mistakes and done some stuff that I wish that I could undo, but I can't. And I've said this before, it's taken me a huge amount of time to come to peace with that, to find peace with that. And I still have moments where I don't feel at peace with that, and then I have to remember that I can't, feeling shit about stuff for your entire life doesn't change anything. It doesn't make it go away. Yeah. And then other people, when you've shown kindness and generosity, and then they haven't behaved in the way that you I guess hoped and expected that they would, and then I realised that the expectation there is the flaw, like expecting people to act in a certain way. Because people act from, there's so many crabs here, sorry, I'm really distracted. I love crabs. Yeah. When we have expectations of other people to act in a certain way, and then we're disappointed, then is that on them or is that on us? Do they even know what our expectations are? I don't know, this is really waffly. I'm going to try and build some crabs because they're really cute. I'm going to leave it at that.